You please have your seat. Wow, that's a rapturous welcome. So my name is Olusho Wonigbide. I run a startup in Lagos called BudgIT. We started in 2011. BudgIT is the first startup in CC Hub, and it's also the first startup to exit CC Hub. And I'll be talking to you about what we do. So what we do in BudgIT. BudgIT begins about reducing X. Everybody's trying to solve for X. So what is X in BudgIT? X is reducing the distance between government and citizens. And we see this as will happen. People have to find a way to connect to government, radio, TV, mobile phones, laptops. And because the problem is always data, data is complex, it's difficult. Government budget is over 8,000 pages. You can't get to read that in a second. So we simplify, we do infographics, print it, and share it for people. Everybody should understand how government data works. And that's layered on open budget. But it's not only about the citizens, everybody gets it. Government gets it. So we train the National Assembly. We train them on how to make the budgets more easier. We talk to civil society, 24 of them. We work with them. Media, we work with Guardian newspapers, Premium Time to simplify their content and do digital journalism. And that's critical to the work that we do. 22 people, 4 creatives, 4 techies, 6 concept managers, 6 researchers, and 2 finance officers. And we have an advisory board, which has an even gender equality, 3 people each. Now the social change we're talking about. Sharing the budget, sharing data, making it more easy to 75,000 people. The largest social media gathering following, 6,000 people. We've created around 2,400 designs. We've created a whole lot of infographics, and we're the #1 infographic designer in this country. If you find anyone better, let me know. And we do this great, good outlook. But this is the revenue we've done budget. So we've done to 864,000 in sharing the budget's commitment from grants, from support, from everybody. But this is unpredictable, meaning grants might come this quarter and it's not coming next quarter. Now, how do we rework our business model? How do we get more of our revenue from services and stop depending strongly on grant? And that's why we want this impact investing, so that we get more support and more revenue from services. And this is the time. It simplifies it all. Move money from businesses, design infographic for businesses, and funnel that government work to citizens in terms of demanding for transparency. You know what? We try to put things on TV, and it's very, very expensive. Now, grants can't do that. We want to innovate our approaches. Grant can't do that all the time. So we want to take this revenue we have, we want to expand that. Now, we've done our own survey that there's a $10 million infographic size of market in Nigeria. Companies, governments, everybody wants infographics. So how about seed funding for corporate services? You know, that we have a mixture of grants and services in equally. The grants coming from one funnel and services coming from one funnel. And they are all driven towards impact, towards open state budget, towards replicating across Africa, towards connecting to more citizens, more than 500,000 of them beyond what we are doing right now. And this is how the outlook could go. It could go that we are keep increasing our service component of our revenue, which currently stands at $100,000 now. Now, the long term is that we become the leading group doing this thing in Nigeria and doing it efficiently and effectively. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so we will have 3 minutes of question and answer with the judges.
So I have a question. What are your biggest issues other than capital that you're looking at as you try to scale to larger numbers?
So the biggest issue, talent, basically. We look for people who have that creative thinking to translate data into design. And because we're working with a large spectrum site when it comes to literacy, so some people can get, no matter how. So we have to continue to simplify this, make. So that kind of part of that conceptual minded into awesome designs. And I think that's what the capital is necessary to seed fund. Okay, capital is also critical, but the biggest one is it's talent and expanded markets, you know, to do it things beyond Nigeria. Yeah.
Hi, thank you. You mentioned you'd like to expand into services. Can you speak about your customer and what type of problem you're trying to solve specifically for your customer?
So the customer we work with the services is to take their data and make that interesting. We believe that there's an opportunity for infographics out there for the corporate businesses. And we can have a spin-off and hybrid structure We take their own data and simplify that. That's nothing to do with our advocacy. We also have to be very careful about our clients because we're doing work on transparency. Currently, we do something for Tony Elumelu Foundation around the TEEP program they're doing for entrepreneurs. And clearly, to take that data they have all amassed and simplify that for them. So clearly, it's about looking for credible people, credible institutions, take their data, simplify that, get paid for that, and use a way of funding that money to drive transparency in government, citizen access to data, citizen engagement and deepen democracy more. Because like we said, testing innovative approaches cannot always work with grants. We've tried that, but the donors keep saying, you can use our money to try, or maybe getting a hip-hop star to sing about transparency. No, you can't do that. So how can we also get our own services to say, in-house we can do that? That's really the key idea.
So, real quick question. Are you thinking big enough?
Yep.
I mean, like, if you had no constraints on funding, and you said, and no one was going to hold you to it, what would this platform look like in 5 years?
So
like unconstrained.
Unconstrained, this 5 years, we want to be the largest data hub in this country. Everybody looking for data and looking for smart design of data has to come to BudgIT. And not just in Nigeria, basically across the continent in Africa. And we already have 2 offices in Liberia and Sierra Leone currently, and where we work with them in doing civic technology and improving government access for data. So basically, it's a larger vision than BudgIT's project. But we also look at how can we raise the revenue potential of what we have. Which looks like we're training our donors and we're training them with kind of requests that we want to do. And we felt the only way we are going to do this, that we're going to get more impact and accelerate such impact, is also try and fund the revenues from the service end. Yeah.
So 275,000, it seemed like a lot of engaged citizens. How did you get them?
We've been on this for 4 years. Since 2011, the NICC was started, we've been on this. And we have close to 60,000 followers on social media. And beyond that, we have this local community projects that we all do. So we get to the local community, show them the budget, and make them more.
Great job. Thank you.